How's it going, guys? It is a glorious day in Geometry Dash land because the new sneak peek for Geometry Dash 2.2 has just dropped. We are on the final stretch waiting for 2.2. Does that mean it's going to come out in a week, a month, a few months? We don't know, but either way, we've waited this long, and so it's coming soon, basically, which is really exciting because I am really looking forward to all the new features 2.2 is going to have. In particular, platforming mode is going to be such a treat to play. The reason why we know it's right around the corner is a message RobTop sent to the Geometry Dash public server a while ago, like a week or two ago. He says, I'm going to be releasing a new video to show a secret feature I was working on before. Will be fun. The next stop is releasing the update. So this is the sneak peek. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a reaction to it, but it's not really a reaction because I've already seen it. So this is a level in platforming mode, and pay attention, especially to the sounds. Boom. So in that section itself, platformer mode has changed with the sneak peek. And the big change that has come forward are sound effects. Lots of sound effects. You're jumping, coin, boom, landing, coin, landing on a box, coin, and also hitting the orb, boing, and boom, hitting the checkpoint, like the crystal shattering. So there's a lot of different sound effects there. Jumping, landing, when you land, there's like a thud. Depending on which surface you land on, there's a different sound effect, like landing on the crate sounds like you're landing on a crate box. There's all kinds of sound effects. And apparently there's tons of sound effects that are already gonna be for use in the game, available, which is really, really cool. One thing I noticed while playing platforming levels on the GDPS 2.2 server is a lot of the levels, they didn't feel like they came to life very well because there were no sound effects. There could be like a crazy chase happening, but even though there was a crazy chase, there was something chasing you down. It didn't feel that intense, even though the song could be intense because there were no sound effects. There were no, when you saw a wall break down or something, there was no sound with it, and it kind of took you out of the experience a little bit. But with sound effects now, that really brings you into the overall experience, and it really kind of immerses you more in these levels. And like, honestly, it's amazing that it's being added. Sound effects, that's very, very cool. So kind of going along with what I mentioned, another thing RobTop said was, wasn't planning on adding sound effects, but platformer levels felt really empty without it, so I've been working to get all that working. It felt a little bit empty, a little bit soulless, but now with this sound effect system, and they're gonna be having tons of sound effects right out of the gate, this is gonna be really cool. And RobTop also has this system, the sound effects uploader, that he can actually upload sounds anywhere in the world. He can just jump onto the sound effects uploader and he can just keep on constantly adding new sound effects into the game without having to update it. So it's this organic system that's going to be used, and like as we're playing 2.2, there's just going to be constantly like an influx of new sound effects into the game, which is going to breathe life into a lot of levels because people are always going to be experimenting around with the new sound effects, and it's going to give platformer levels a sense of newness throughout the lifespan of 2.2 and beyond, which is pretty cool. Dude, and like some of the sound effects are so good. Like that sounds like so heavy. Boom, 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 boom. That is excellent. Burning. Boing. Blink. Oh, that's good. It's so satisfying. People are gonna abuse it though. There's gonna be some levels in the recent tab that are just like an amalgamation of like various sound effects. Dude, I love that crystal smashing. One thing that is cool too is I think there's some objects that were added in here, like that crystal that might just be like an object that you can just place that was added to use for checkpoints, for example, because I know there was like a checkpoint trigger, I believe, and you could checkpoint yourself, but I don't think there was an actual object like that practice mode crystal that you shatter when you get to it. It might be like an object that you can just use without actually having to build, but I'm not entirely sure. You might have to custom build it. But I imagine there's a bunch of objects that are going to be added into 2.2 that you can just place like that. Because that is cool. That's such a satisfying checkpoint sound. Like the crystal shattering. It makes me feel like it's like a save point in Final Fantasy, like in old Final Fantasy games. It's excellent. Boom, and the music change. You notice how the music was ding, ding, ding. And then all of a sudden now, it is switched to like this ambient sound. So it's very cool that you can actually switch songs midway through the level. And this is so cool too. You're getting scanned. Getting scanned by like some kind of scanner. And the creepy sound effect. I see you. there's going to be so many sound effects, and there's going to be a lot of creepy sounding ones like that too, which is going to be great for horror levels and things like that, because I love myself a good horror level in GD, and this is going to it's going to bring making horror levels to the next level. So here you can see the sound effects trigger itself. There's all kinds of sound effects. Binocular, reload, these are weapons, sniper rifle. There's all sorts of like gun sounds, futuristic voice sounds.
Fire in the hole!
Like pirate sounds. And there's tons of stuff. And also,
Fire in the hole!
what's cool is if you look at this menu right here, it's not just the sound effect itself. That's going to be, it's not going to be like the same kind of sounding sound effect. You can change the speed, the pitch, the volume, reverb, loop, async. Like there's all sorts of things that you can do to the sound effect to customize it and kind of make it your own. So even though fire in the hole sounds kind of like piratey and stuff, you could start like a horror level, for example. You could have like a pirate ship, but then like all the people on the pirate ship, it gets attacked and then they all perish on the seas, and then it changes into like a ghost ship or whatever, and you're going through the bottom layer and you're firing all like distorted and pitched and things, and it could sound really creepy using the same sound effect, right? So there's various ways to use the sound effects trigger to change the same sound effect. So it's going to bring a lot of customization to creators, which is crazy. It's going to be good. Very necessary, by the way, because people in platforming mode, like this is right here, we're seeing a basic platforming mode level. This is what a basic platforming mode level is going to look like. It's going to be jumping on boxes, getting some coins, getting some extra stuff, right? But this is just like the most basic of the basic. People are going to run wild with platformer mode. They're going to be making like RPGs in platforming mode and having all these custom sound effects for like various attacks that people are going to be doing, and it's so necessary. And I'm so glad that 2.2 was delayed. Don't know if 2.2 was delayed for this in particular, but I'm so glad that this was added and ready for 2.2. You know, like it makes absolute sense that this was necessary. With the advent of platforming mode, it's going to breathe so much life into this game, especially for me, because I do like the auto scroll nature of Geometry Dash. I like how that feels special and unique. But dude, platformer mode is going to be awesome because I love platforming games, and I'm going to be making endless 2.2 videos when this drops. I am so excited, guys. This is going to be awesome. So a lot of people might be worried about the sound effects system because there are like hacks you can use to bypass the sliders in creator mode, but DropTop has addressed that, saying added the volume limiter for sound effects in the sound engine that can't be bypassed even when spamming multiple sound effects. Will sound like crap if you do, but no ear damage. There's a certain limit that goes on behind the scenes where you can't go past a certain volume, so people just like can't have their ears blasted out. Like you can't be massive jump scared even if your volume is low, which is pretty cool. Although I will say, in the recent tab, we'll probably be gonna be getting a lot of levels that it's gonna be like sound effects spam, and it's just gonna be nonsense, but that's all part of the fun, isn't it? I'm looking forward to it. Bring your worst recent tab. So this is a video that was also released on the public server, just ways you can use the sound effects. So let's see this too. So boom, hit a switch and then like the song changes. You only have a certain amount of time to get the coins, and you get it, and it's slow-mo. You got the last coin. Congratulations, you. So this just showcases there's various ways to use like swapping the music and various ways to use the sound effects in tandem with like slow motion camera controls and everything, which is really cool to give you a sense of like victory over certain maybe secrets you find. Like I imagine there's going to be areas like in other games, like where if you find a secret in a platformer level, like in Hollow Knight, you know, you see like a fake wall and you go through it. And I don't think there's a sound effect in Hollow Knight for it. I forget. But there are in various other games. And there's like a secret sound, like you found something secret. So there's all sorts of ways to use sound effects, which are going to be really cool. All right, 2.2 is around the corner. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'll see you guys around. As soon as 2.2 drops, I'll be making lots of videos because I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. As always, peace.